What's up? So this is the story of the time that I went viral on TikTok by accident and got bit by a dog. What happened was I drove down to Utah for the weekend and why is this so hard? So I went to Utah for a weekend. I was there Friday to Sunday, and in the afternoon was when I was planning to leave on Sunday. So Sunday morning comes around, and my aunt's brought over her 3 French bulldogs, and they're gonna get fitted for their costumes because my grandma does like custom Halloween costumes for them every year. So this is like a normal occurrence. Basically, what they do is they bring them all at once, put them all outside, bring one in, measure it, costume it, whatever. So as they're doing that, me and my cousin are sitting at the table eating breakfast, doing whatever. And by the time that we finished breakfast, they finished fitting the dogs. So after they finish the last one, they go and do something in the front room before bringing in the other two. My cousin gets up and goes to take a shower, and I'm just sitting at the table. And the dog who was in there for fittings is sitting next to me on the floor. So I get up and sit down with him, and I'm petting him. And we're sitting side by side. I'm like completely flat on my butt. So it's not like I'm like over him. Like we're not eye to eye, but we're like level with each other. Everything's fine. He's letting me pet him. He's leaning into me. And like every signal that like he was giving was positive, was comfortable. Like it did not show aggression, and like I didn't feel like, oh, I need to move. But we're just sitting next to each other. I'm not in his face. I'm just petting on him. And all of a sudden, as I looked up because I thought someone was coming in the room, I look back and he has jumped and he has my face here and here. In that moment, I pushed him away, but he had to come down. So when he came down, he caught my entire upper lip, which caused the tearing. I jump up, put my hands over my mouth. I shouldn't cover my mouth while I'm talking, but I'm holding everything up, and there's just blood coming everywhere. And I don't scream. I don't know what to do, but like the only thing in my head was that I needed to be calm. And like in middle school, I was super obsessed with Bethany Hamilton and like Soul Surfer, and like that was like one thing like I just could think in my head was like, dude, she only lived because she was so calm. Like you will die if you start freaking out, which like was not true for me, but like that's all I could think about. So I'm just holding my hands up, and I just like asked like for someone to come in the room, like, can I have some help, please? Can I have some help? Can someone come help? And eventually they hear me. Like I probably only took like 30 seconds for them like to like hear me and come in the room. But like they were like everyone walked in like looking at me weird, like why is she asking for help? Like because it just didn't seem like I was panicking. And then everyone like gasps and freaks out because there's blood just dripping everywhere. It's on the floor. It's all down my arms, like nasty. And they're like, what happened? What happened? And I was like, the dog bit me. And then I start thinking about the fact that like my dad is 1,000 miles away and he's not gonna be there with me. And I just start sobbing. And they're like, it's okay, it's okay. Like it's probably not that bad because head injuries always bleed more than they should. So everyone's like, oh yeah, it's probably not that bad. Like it's just a little nick. And all they could see was my top of my nose because I was mainly covering here. They could see like blood coming from there. So they're like, oh, and it's probably coming out here is what they were expecting. I move my hands, and immediately they're pushing my hands back into my face and they're like, be still, don't move. And they go and get a towel, push it up, and they go and get my grandpa. And my grandpa is like, it's probably not that big of a deal. Let me see. I haven't seen it, but I'm like, okay. I show him, he goes, oh, go get your insurance card and your ID and let's get in the car right now. So my cousin runs downstairs, grabs my ID, she grabs everything I need, like my shoes, everything. I'm in my pajamas. I don't even have socks on at this point. I was not ready for this. So my cousin, my grandpa, and I, we all get in the car and we drive into Salt Lake, which is like 45 minutes away, I think. I don't really know. But ambulances are expensive, so we don't take those. And also, it wasn't necessary. But the whole time, I'm just sitting there with this towel on and an ice pack and just like trying to hold it all up. We get to the hospital. They check us in. They're going kind of slow. And then finally, we get into the triage room and they're like, okay, like let us see. And I lift it and they're like, ooh, we should probably get a plastic surgeon in here. And I was like, I mean, I can't see what I look like, but I'm a little scared. They get that like they get him on the phone because he's not in for the day, but they get me into a room. Like, quick. I get in the room. They're pushing hella antibiotics because everyone's afraid that it's going to get infected. They're asking me if I want a tetanus shot. Luckily, this dog is up to date on his shots, and like we know that for a fact. So like it wasn't as scary like as it could have been. But they're pushing, like I've got like 2 drip bags of antibiotics happening. They're cleaning it out with saline, and like it was just messy and ugly. And they put a shot, like they went underneath it in this section and put a shot in there to numb it. Did not work. I did not work, and I hated that so much. But my cousin finally took a picture of it, and I got to see what it looked like, and I was like, oh yeah, this is really bad. So about 3-4 hours later, the surgeon comes, does the stitches and everything, and we leave, go home, pack up the little bit of stuff we had, and head back, like, because our weekend was over and we needed to go to school the next day. But it was literally just so quick and instant. I didn't feel this happen, but when they did the numbing shots, they put it in my nose, my chin, and all like in this area. Worst pain of my entire life. Hated that. But it worked. Like, it numbed everything except for the very edge of my lip. I could feel him doing the stitches, but in my head I was like, I cannot tell him I can feel this because he's gonna do that shot again and I'm gonna hate that. And my surgery was like done bedside. Like, they literally just put like the sterile towels around all of this, and like I couldn't see. They just put the I know the words that I'm looking for, but antiseptics and stuff. They put everything on. Like, it was all clean and sterile, but like it was just done in my room. It was quick, easy, and for a month I had stitches and I had to wear tape on them every day. And like, this is now like a couple months later. I have a little bit of makeup on it, but it doesn't look bad. So that's the story of the dog bite. Then on TikTok, what happened is I made a TikTok while I was here at school as a joke, and I had one get taken down. Like, a post got taken down, and like nobody like ever like watched my TikToks, like besides my roommate. So I was like, okay, cool. It's like my own little private thing. It wasn't a private account, but like I just didn't think anyone would see it ever. So I heard this audio from I think it was a 21 Savage audio. I can't even remember what I made, but basically I made it, posted it, woke up the next morning, and it had thousands of views, and I was like, oh, that's awkward. And then by the time, like, I woke up around like 8 in the morning, by the time it was like noon, it had hit 1 million views, and I had no idea what to do because it was like embarrassing because I still wasn't like 100% comfortable like with my face. And so I kind of freaked out a little bit, but also was like, I guess it's what it is what it is. And yeah, TikTok did take it down. If I can find a way to like put it in this video, I will. But yeah, so I accidentally went viral on TikTok because of said lip, and that's the only thing it's benefited me with. Yeah, it does that now. I can't feel it. It's like, it's gotten a lot softer, but it's like a hard piece of skin. But yeah, it's kind of all I have for you. That's the dog bite. Oh, the only thing people actually care about in this situation is where that dog's at right now. He is alive and living his best life. I didn't want him to be put down, and also he didn't need to be put down. Also, if you tell me that I made a mistake by not doing that, you're dumb, you're stupid, leave me alone, and that's it. But yeah, that's all I got.